bright stars, if you're a bright star, eventually you're going to have to break away from the group, right? And you're going to have to break away from the group because they're holding you back. Okay? They're holding you back. Notice how some of the most famous performers, eventually they break away from their group. Michael Jackson broke away from the Jackson 5. Nicki Minaj broke away from her rap group. Beyonce broke away from Destiny's Child. Lauryn Hill broke away from her group. Bright stars, eventually you're like, no, this is just not working. Like, I have a lot in me, but because of the people around me, I feel like I have to limit myself. That's not fair to me. So let me just break away and do my own thing so I can go all out, so I can show up and show out. So for example, for me, one thing I know for a fact is if I want to stunt my creativity, if I want to put a cap on the fire that's in me, if I connect myself to a group and I have to like work with them in that way, meaning we're like all working together, I'm going to be putting a cap on myself. That's a fact. I would always be the one, if I was in a singing group, I would always be the one to go solo. Always. Because some people, you just don't thrive when you are limited to other people and their projections and their limited ambitions. You show up and show out. And that doesn't work effectively as long as you are in a group, right? So bright stars can't do groups. You will never be able to be the full version of yourself if you're a part of a group. Bright stars can't do groups. You just can't, okay? You've tried and tried and tried and tried. And every time you enter a group situation, what happens? You always get booted out the group. Work group, church group, friend group. You always get booted out, or you are the one that gets invited last, or the one that doesn't get invited at all. Or you get invited when everyone else can't come, right? Or let's say somebody's having a birthday dinner and they just want a lot of people there, then they'll invite you as kind of like a buffer invite. It's not a real invite. It's like a last minute, oh, if you want to come, you can type of thing. And what's going to happen is you're going to internalize that and you're going to think, oh my God, why does anybody not like me? Why doesn't anybody like me? Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody has experienced rejection more than the rejection I've experienced in my past. And for a lot of you guys, you may be thinking, how the hell would somebody reject you? How on earth would your friends give you the short end of the stick? And I'm saying that because I know they're listening, right? When God ascends you, people from your past who rejected you, they become obsessed with you because now they can't get near the new you. So I know they're listening to this right now. Same with the toxic family. Nobody has experienced rejection like me in my past. If there's anybody that has experienced rejection, I would probably win the trophy. Always been in the past, rejected, always. Never fails. Even when I'm not infiltrating myself and I'm quiet and I'm in my corner minding my own business as I usually do, I'm not the biggest people person. So I'm usually in the corner by myself, just staying out of people's way because I want them to stay out of my way. Still got rejected. So bright stars have to understand that the spirit that you have, meaning your spirit, your individual energy, you don't do well when you have to infiltrate yourself with other people and do group style things. Okay. That's why bright stars usually, all you need is one good girlfriend, one good guy friend. That's it. You don't need a big group of friends. You don't need a bunch of people around you because they're just going to come and mess up your flow. Okay. And some people may start to say you're arrogant. It's not arrogance. It's understanding my energy and the way the world responds to it. And I'm creating that autonomous lifestyle to make sure that I'm in spaces where I'm being respected and not disrespected. So to you, it's arrogance because you don't know me. But to me, that has already been through certain things, I know the way my energy affects people. So I'm only going to go in environments where I know I will be pushed ahead and not held back. That's the difference. So when you're a bright star, you can't do groups. They will always purposefully keep you out because their goal is to reject you. Not because they innately want to reject you. It's just your energy is so vibrant, you naturally make people feel rejected by just existing. Your existence makes people feel rejected because that's how much God has on you, that people can't even stand next to you without feeling like a mustard seed. And it's nothing you're doing. It's your essence. It just makes them feel tiny. So because humans are creatures of insecurity, projection, and limitation, if somebody makes them feel that way, they're like, oh no, how dare she make me feel small? I'm going to make her feel small. And then they do something crazy, like reject you or perform a humiliation ritual or whatever it is that people carry. You guys know what people carry on with. They're going to do that because your presence makes them feel rejected. And even though you're not rejecting them and you're not doing anything to them, your existence makes them feel obsolete. So they feel like they have to make you feel obsolete. That's their goal. Okay. Okay. So then maybe you can, oh, no. I'm sorry. I don't do groups. Huh? No. I don't do groups. No. Why? It just doesn't work. Like groups don't really match my energy. It doesn't work. My creativity, I am not operating at my highest level when it's within a group. So no. And a lot of you guys, that is the approach that you will have to take because the reality is bright stars can't do groups. Sometimes notice how the most talented person in the group always goes solo dolo. And the reason they do that is because when they're a part of the group, their creativity is limited. There's a cap on it. When you're a bright star, you're a machine, right? Meaning you work really well and you're on your P's and Q's. But now when you infiltrate the bright star into a group, now the bright star is going to intimidate the group, right? Because a bright star is about business. The bright star is going to make other members of the group or environment feel small because of their passion and creativity. Bright stars should be working alone, okay? I always say that. Bright stars need to do their own thing because you don't want your creativity or ambition to be stunted. When somebody is a bright star, somebody in the background or in the woodworks or in the shadows is always trying to limit, stunt, or throw a rock in your path so that you can trip. Bright stars have to do their own thing. Now, bright stars will get rejected. Yes, people will reject you, but not for the reason that you think, though. They're not rejecting you because something's wrong with you. They're rejecting you because something's right with you. They're rejecting you because something is so right with you that it makes them feel insignificant. So for me, I don't ever walk into places looking to be invited, a part of the group. As a matter of fact, I'm going to reject the group before the group rejects me because I already know what they're going to do to me if I infiltrate myself into the group. They're going to team up to go against me. So I kind of avoid all of that by just saying, no, I kind of just do my own thing. But thank you so much for the proposal, but I work alone, but thanks a lot. And it's not arrogance, it's understanding the way that my spirit operates. And I thrive the most when I'm in my own creative space and I'm not really infiltrating anybody into that space. It's the same thing when a bright star is in corporate. You know, when you're just in your office, you got your coffee, your jazz is playing, you're working, you're doing good. But the minute it has to be some type of group thing, people start picking you apart. They start pointing out your flaws. They're looking for something wrong with you. They're trying to train you incorrectly. Bright stars cannot do groups because bright stars trigger people's egos. You don't do groups, okay? Okay, you can't do groups. And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of times, you ladies and gentlemen who are listening to me, you were always the friend that got invited last, okay? You were always the friend that it's like they kind of didn't want to invite you because they felt like, you know, you would get the attention, right? Or you're always the employee that got fired. Like anytime there's a layoff, they would choose you. Even if other people didn't work as well as you, they would choose you. The reality is when you're a bright star, you have to work alone. Like you can't do groups. Like you cannot be infiltrated in spaces with a bunch of people, not because you wouldn't want to be a part of a group or you wouldn't have anything to offer the group. The reason is because the group is not going to accept you. The group is going to feel intimidated by you. The leader of the group is going to feel like you're overthrowing the group. They're going to feel like you're trying to take over when you're just being your confident, smart, intelligent, creative, force to be reckoned with self. The leader of that group is going to feel like you're trying to steal their group members from them. So bright stars can't do groups. Bright stars don't really work with people. Bright stars have to work alone. A lot of bright stars and hyper intelligent and hyperactive and hyper creative people, even if they start in a group, they usually break away. Okay? They usually break away. You know, Nikki at first, she was, rapping with groups. Now she's solo dolo. Beyonce, Destiny Child, now solo dolo. Michael Jackson was part of the Jackson 5, eventually became solo dolo. Because the reality is the bright star eventually is going to realize, I don't need all this extra luggage. I can hold it down solo. Like, I don't need all these extra opinions. I don't need all of these extra changes. I don't need all of these extra, advice, unsolicited advice. I don't need this because I'm a force to be reckoned with. And usually bright stars don't have to do much. They are the show. They're not a part of the show. Bright stars are the show, meaning the party doesn't start until you walk in, which is why a lot of people don't invite you. Because once you walk in, nobody's going to pay attention to them anymore, and they know that. Now, a lot of times, bright stars are going to deal with rejection. Bright stars will always get rejected by people because people feel intimidated by you. So to compensate for the way they feel intimidated by you, what do? They are going to reject you, right? A lot of people, they're projecting. That's why I say don't take don't take what people do personally, because if they feel rejected by you, meaning your aura is so bright they feel insecure, they're going to reject you to compensate it because they feel rejected by your energy. So they're going to reject you as payback, right? Because people are insecure, right? So for me, I already know that if I'm a part of a group, they're going to boot me out. So I don't waste my time with groups because they can't handle me. So what I do is always going to be solo. I don't do groups. I don't infiltrate myself in groups because I know the group is going to become threatened. Bright stars don't do groups. And even if they start in a group, eventually they have to break away. It's the same thing when bright stars are working. When you're a bright star and you got to stand on your own 2 feet and you're working with groups, even the boss, you're working well and the boss is not going to like it. And you're going to think, wait a minute, I thought my boss would like the fact that I work well. No, your boss is intimidated by your energy and your ambition and the fact that you are a force to be reckoned with. So bright stars don't do groups. I always tell people I don't do groups. If it's a group thing, if it's like a thing where I have to kind of like infiltrate my creative ways with other people, or I have to infiltrate, my gift with other people, and it has to be like this melting pot of each of us, contributing something, it's never going to work because eventually they're going to team up to go against me. That I know for a fact. So because I already know how my energy operates, I have to work alone. It's not necessarily by default, it's by choice, because I don't want my creativity to be stunted. And a lot of you guys, people stunt you. Like, they keep you from growing. They keep you from getting to the next level because your aura intimidates them and it triggers them into giving you advice to keep you in the same space. Okay, so bright stars can't do groups. Even Lauryn Hill, she was in a group and then eventually she went solo dolo because the reality is she doesn't need the group. If anything, the group needed Lauryn Hill more than she needed them. She did not need them. Okay? She didn't need them at all. As a matter of fact, she was the machine behind that group in the first place. So, again, she is the show. Okay, that's why bright stars, even in these reality shows, when the bright star leaves the show collapses. The viewers go down. It's not getting much numbers. The show stops doing numbers because the bright star is no longer a part of the cast. So it's lame now. You know, that bright star brought the heat. And now that they're gone, the viewership is going down. There's not much views because the bright star is no longer around. That's why you guys, when you're the bright star, when you leave your family, the barbecues aren't fun anymore. The holiday parties are not fun anymore. Thanksgiving is not fun anymore because the bright star is no longer there. So everybody's pretty boring now, you know, and usually, you know, you would be the topic of conversation because they would gossip about you and talk bad about you. Now that they don't even have access to what you're doing, the conversations are really stale. Yeah. The bright star kind of just took the fun out of it, you know. Now everybody's just sitting around, you know, cutting up their dry turkey. It's not very fun anymore. You know, the bright star is not around, you know. And people are usually breaking the bright star down. You know, people are usually beating the bright star into the ground. So eventually they don't give the bright star an opportunity but to leave. The bright star has to leave to escape the abuse. But now, you know, Christmas is pretty boring now. You know, the eggnog is not hitting the way it used to hit when the bright star was sipping on it. So that's what you have to realize is when you're a bright star, you can't do groups, and whatever you're creating, it has to just be you and God, essentially. I worked in HR for several years, so in this class, I am going to teach you guys tips, tricks, and valuable information so you can be a corporate Spartan. It is not easy working in corporate America, but if you have the right office politics and you know your rights legally, that will definitely help you have a more enjoyable experience. So this class, I will be teaching you from an HR standpoint, what to do, what not to do, and how to jump paths so that you can get the promotions that you always wanted, what to look out for and what not to look out for in office politics. Also, next class on power. Power is very, very important. This class is not about feminine power. It's about power in life and having staying power. To get through life, when you're dealing with humans, men and women, you need to learn how to make sure that you have staying power, and you need to learn how to make sure that all of the moves that you make sense so you can always be 25 steps ahead of everyone else, because life is chess, not checkers.